Ever wondered what happens when you just disappear from someone's life? I'm not talking about simply taking a step back or giving them some space. No, I'm talking about vanishing completely. No texts, no calls, no contact at all. Zero. Zilch. Nada. What would they feel when you're gone? How would they react? In today's world, where people often take others for granted, we need to flip the script for a moment. Imagine this. You disappear from their life, and I promise, their world will fall apart. Welcome to the most important video you'll watch today. If you've ever been in a relationship or a situation where someone has treated you like an afterthought, this video is for you. Today, we're talking about something incredibly powerful, the real emotional journey someone goes through when you simply vanish from their life. We're going to break it down into 11 intense emotional stages they will go through, step by step. By the end of this video, you'll understand why sometimes the most empowering thing you can do is walk away and never look back. If you're ready to discover your true worth, if you're ready to make them miss you like never before, drop a comment below with the words, "I'm done being an option." Because by the time we finish this video, you won't ever be one again. So let's dive in. Here we go. Number 1, the sting of rejection. This is where it all begins. When you vanish, you hit them with a reality they never saw coming. It's a gut punch. They thought you would always be there, right? In their mind, you were a constant. You were the one who put in the effort, the one who cared, the one who made plans. You were their rock, the person they could always count on. But when you pull away, it's like you've ripped their safety net from underneath them. Suddenly they're falling. They never expected it, and now they're left scrambling for answers. You've probably heard the saying, "You never know what you have until it's gone." That's exactly what happens when you disappear. Here's the thing. When you remove yourself from their life, it's not just the physical absence they feel. It's the absence of everything you represented. The comfort, the validation, the constant availability you gave. When you vanish, you take all of that away, and that is what stings. The rejection they feel. It's not just a superficial, "Oh, they're not replying" number. It's a deep, gut-wrenching personal sting because for the first time, they realize they have absolutely no control over you. They thought you'd always be there, waiting, but you're not. And that realization cuts deep. People rarely admit it, but the truth is, when they know someone will always be around, they start to take them for granted. You become a safety net, someone they rely on, but only when it's convenient for them. You become an option, not a priority. But when you disappear, you yank that safety net right out from under them. The panic sets in. It's like free-falling into the unknown. They thought they could keep you as a backup, always available on their terms. But now they're left wondering, how did I let this happen? How did I lose them? The sting of rejection hits especially hard when you've been emotionally available. Maybe you've given them your time, your energy, your heart. You've always been there for them, but they've taken it for granted. They assumed you'd always be there no matter how they treated you. What's the real kicker? They might have even thought they were doing you a favor by keeping you around. Can you believe that? They thought they were giving you crumbs while you were feeding them your whole heart. But in reality, you were the one providing. You were the one giving. And when you pull back, they suddenly realize just how much they depended on you. You were their constant, their backup, their emotional comfort. And now, you're gone. The real irony. You were never an option to begin with. You were the one, and they never truly appreciated it until it was too late. Number 2, the void of missing you. After the sting of rejection settles in, something else starts to take over, the emptiness. And this is where things get interesting. They didn't think they'd miss you, did they? In fact, they probably convinced themselves that they wouldn't care if you left. "Oh, if they leave, I'll just move on," they thought. "It's no big deal, I'll be fine." But what happens when you actually disappear? They begin to feel a void. a hollow space they can't fill. It's not just a fleeting feeling of loneliness. No, it's a real void, an empty sensation that gnaws at them, a hole in their heart that nothing else can replace. They start realizing they were wrong. When you were still around, they didn't truly value you. They took you for granted, assuming you were just part of the background, always there, always available. But now, with you gone, they start to understand that you were the one who brought meaning to their life. You were the energy, the warmth, the emotional stability that made everything feel more complete. Without you, everything feels bland. The world around them becomes dull, colorless. They start to see that something's missing, but they don't know how to replace it. They try to fill the void with something else. Maybe they'll try to distract themselves with someone new, or dive into their work, or hang out with friends. They might even throw themselves into hobbies to get over you. But no matter what they try, nothing can replace what you brought to their life. That emptiness lingers, a constant reminder of what they lost. It doesn't go away with time. Every attempt to fill that void only makes it grow larger. Here's the truth. They didn't appreciate you when you were around. Maybe they thought they could do better, or maybe they took you for granted thinking you'd always be there. But now that you're gone, everything changes. They start to miss the little things, the long conversations, the laughter, the way you made them feel understood when no one else did. Those are the moments they crave now, but you're no longer there to provide them. So how do you make them feel this void deeply? When you vanish, don't leave them any way to find you again. Block them on all social media platforms, delete their number, and make sure there's no casual way for them to check up on you. The more they realize they can't access you, the deeper that void becomes. Every time they think of you, every time they try to reach out and find nothing, the emptiness will only grow. Let them sit with that feeling. Let them feel the weight of your absence, because trust me, it's going to eat at them. And you know what? They'll never forget the feeling of losing you. Number 3, overwhelming curiosity. After the feeling of emptiness sets in, something else begins to take hold. Overwhelming curiosity. By now, they're deep in the void, and they begin to get desperate. The big question haunting their mind is, where are they? What are they doing? Who are they with? They become obsessed with knowing what's happening in your life, because they no longer have access to you. You've become a mystery, and nothing is more unsettling than not knowing what's going on with someone who was once so close. In the age of social media, this stage becomes even more intense. They start checking your Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and every other platform just to get a glimpse of what you're up to. But here's the kicker. You're not giving them anything. You've gone dark. No updates, no stories, no posts, nothing. And it drives them crazy. Why? Because human beings hate the unknown. The moment you vanish, their minds start racing with questions. This is when their insecurities kick in. They start wondering, have they moved on? Are they with someone else? Are they better off without me? They can't stand not knowing, so they become fixated on trying to find answers. This is when they might even reach out to mutual friends, trying to gather any information about you. They'll ask questions, but they'll be too proud to admit they care. It's a sad sight, really. Someone who once thought they didn't need you now going out of their way to figure out what you're doing. The truth is, curiosity is a powerful emotion. When someone can't get the answers they want, their minds begin to fill in the gaps. They'll start imagining you with someone else, imagining you happier, more fulfilled without them. And that thought eats away at them day by day. What started as curiosity soon turns into an obsession. Here's the best part. The less they know, the more they want to know. You become the one thing they can't stop thinking about. You hold all the power now. Their curiosity is your biggest asset. So how do you fuel this curiosity? Become a ghost. Completely disappear from their radar. Don't post anything that could give them clues about your life. Let them wonder. Let them stew in their thoughts, trying to figure out what's going on with you. Every time they pick up their phone to check on you and find nothing, it will drive them closer to the edge. Let your silence torment them. There's nothing more unsettling than being left in the unknown. They won't be able to stop thinking about you, and that will make them remember you like never before. You've created a void that nothing can fill, and curiosity will be the most powerful weapon you have. Now, you have complete control over their mind. Use this power wisely. Don't provide them with any answers. Let them search. Let them wonder. Because the more they don't know, the more they'll long for you. Number 4, deep self-reflection. After going through the overwhelming curiosity, another feeling begins to emerge. Deep self-reflection. They can't avoid facing their own actions, and it's not a pleasant experience. They start replaying every interaction in their mind, wondering if they could have done things differently. They remember the times they ignored your messages, the times they dismissed your feelings, and the moments they made you feel like an afterthought. All these memories come flooding back and they hit them hard. Deep down they know that they had something good, but they took it for granted. Now all they're left with are these brutal thoughts. The power of this stage lies in its internal nature. They can't blame you anymore. You're not around to argue with or to defend them, to make excuses for them. It's just them and their thoughts, and that's a tough pill to swallow. They're forced to confront their own mistakes. Self-reflection becomes deeper as time passes. The more they reflect, the more they realize how much they messed up. Guilt begins to creep in, and they start wishing they could go back in time to make things right. But it's too late now. You've walked away, and there's no turning back. At this point, don't reach out to them. Don't explain why you left or try to make them understand their mistakes. Let them figure it out on their own. Self-reflection is most powerful when it happens within, without outside interference. The more time they spend reflecting, the more they will realize that they are the reason things went wrong. Let them sit with that guilt. It's a valuable lesson they need to learn. Number 5, the urge to pursue you. After spending a long time in self-reflection, something shifts within them. They no longer question themselves. Now they want you back. The tables have turned. You were the one who always put in the effort, always cared, always chased. But now it's their turn. The urge to pursue you becomes overwhelming. They can't stop thinking about you, can't stop wanting to reach out, can't stop wondering if it's too late to fix what was lost. They'll start sending those "I've been thinking about you" texts. They'll like your old Instagram posts, maybe even comment on something to see if you'll respond. They might send a late-night message after a few drinks, hoping to rekindle what was lost. Here's the thing you need to remember. They're chasing you now instead of you chasing them. They've gone from taking you for granted to desperately wanting you back. This is where you hold all the power. The urge to pursue you is strong, but you don't need to respond. In fact, you shouldn't. Let them feel the desperation from their own actions. Let them wonder if you've moved on. The more they pursue, the more they'll realize they've lost control. They no longer hold the upper hand in this situation, and that drives them crazy. When they start chasing, don't respond. The moment you do, the power shifts back to them. You've worked too hard to reclaim your worth, and now is not the time to give that power away. Let them chase you, but don't reward their efforts. Silence is your most powerful tool in this stage. Let them feel the frustration of wanting something they can no longer have. Number 6, the battle between relief and regret. When you first disappear, they may feel a brief sense of relief. It's that initial feeling of freedom when they no longer have to deal with you. Maybe they think they'll continue on with their lives without the struggles or complications of this relationship. But soon enough, a deep sense of regret starts to creep in. And that's the inner battle they can't avoid. This is the shift from feeling free to being caught in the consequences of their actions. Regret isn't something they can easily shake off. Number 7, the illusion of freedom. By now, they've started to convince themselves that they're free. Freedom from you, from the relationship, from the emotional weight. They might even tell themselves, finally, I don't have to deal with them anymore. For a moment, it feels like a relief. They go out with friends, swipe through dating apps, maybe even have a couple of superficial encounters. It's like they've stepped into a new chapter of their life, one where they are in control, and for the first time in a while, they feel like they have no ties. But here's the truth. This freedom is just an illusion. At first it seems exciting, like a weight has been lifted off their shoulders. It's temporary, though, a fleeting sense of liberation. The excitement quickly fades once they find themselves alone, maybe in their quiet apartment, scrolling through their phone. And that's when it hits them. They've replaced you with nothing more than empty distractions. The people they thought could fill the space you left are just surface-level connections, shallow and unsatisfying. It's like drinking salt water when you're thirsty. It feels like a solution, but it only leaves them more dehydrated, more desperate, more regretful. They thought they could just fill the gap with someone new, with casual dating, maybe even a quick hookup. But the truth is, they can't replace you. You were different. You gave them emotional stability, a deep connection, something they can't get from a temporary fling. This freedom they've been so excited about starts to feel more like emptiness. Every time they're left alone with their thoughts, every time they sit in silence, the void gets bigger. They realize that the freedom they thought would set them free is really just the absence of the only thing that made them feel alive. You. Don't rush back when they start feeling regret. Let them sit with it. Let them experience the emptiness they thought they could fill. Your absence will haunt them in ways they never saw coming. That illusion of freedom will shatter, and they'll be left with the reality of what they lost. Let them regret it. Let them feel it deep inside. Number 8, the desire to play the game. And then, as the regret really starts to sink in, they begin to panic. The tables have turned. They can't handle the fact that they've lost control over you, and they'll do anything to get it back. They want to play the game now. They don't know what else to do, so they try to manipulate the situation. How? By playing games. They'll act distant on purpose, post photos with other people, make it look like they're living their best life without you, as if they're perfectly fine without your presence. They might even post a cryptic status about moving on, or upload a selfie that's just a little too forced, a little too obvious. All of it is a calculated attempt to make you wonder, what are they up to? Are they seeing someone else? Do they even care? But here's the catch. You're not playing anymore. You've outgrown these childish games. You're no longer interested in their petty attempts to provoke a reaction. You've moved on from that behavior. You don't care about the passive-aggressive comments they throw at you, or the cryptic posts they make. They're all trying to manipulate you into chasing after them again, but you've stopped chasing. When you stop chasing, when you stop engaging, that's when they start to lose control. They'll throw everything they can at you, those subtle digs, those passive-aggressive posts, maybe even an exaggerated story on social media. But none of it will matter. Why? Because you won't react, you won't engage. And that, my friend, is what drives them absolutely mad. Their game only works if you play along. But when you stop responding, when you stop giving them the attention they crave, that's when they realize they have no power over you anymore. Number 9, the crushing weight of silence. Finally, we arrive at one of the most powerful tools in your arsenal. Silence. There's nothing more suffocating, more powerful than silence. It speaks volumes without saying a single word. When you disappear completely, when you go dark, it's not just about your physical absence. It's about the absence of your presence, your voice, your energy. Silence pierces them like a weight they can't shake off. Every attempt to reach out to you, every glance at their phone, every memory that surfaces, it all serves to remind them that you're gone. They'll start to feel the crushing weight of silence, like they're trapped in a room with no escape. Silence forces them to confront their own actions, to face the reality that you've walked away and there's no coming back. It's in these moments when they're left alone with their thoughts that the full weight of what they lost starts to settle in. And the silence, it's not a punishment, it's a powerful lesson. Let it sink in, let them stew in it. The more they try to reach out, the more they realize they're chasing nothing. The longer you stay silent, the louder your absence becomes. Let them feel the pain of it. Let them realize that you were the one who brought value, stability, and meaning to their life. Now it's all gone, and all they're left with is the silence, a silence they can't escape. And trust me, that silence will speak to them in ways words never could. You hold the power now. Let them experience the consequences of taking you for granted, of playing games, and of underestimating your worth. They won't forget this lesson, no matter how much time passes. Number 10, the fear that brings them crawling back. By now, you've made your point, and the silence has done its job. But there's one final, powerful emotional stage they will go through. Fear. The fear of losing you forever. This is where everything they took for granted comes crashing down, and it's a wake-up call they never saw coming. For so long, they thought you'd always be there. They were comfortable with the idea that you were their safety net, someone who would always show up when they needed you. But now, suddenly, you're gone. And that's when fear takes over. They panic. The fear sets in hard and fast, much stronger than anything else they've felt before. For the first time, they're confronted with the reality that they may have lost you for good. They start asking themselves, what if they've moved on? They picture you with someone else, laughing, having fun, sharing moments they'll never be a part of again. And the thought of it makes them sick. The fear of you being with someone new, someone who appreciates you more, who treats you better, consumes them. It becomes their worst nightmare. Losing you is now the biggest threat they've ever faced. But here's the thing, the fear of losing you is all-consuming, but it's also too late. By the time they start crawling back to you, you've already moved on. You've found your strength, your independence, and the realization hits that you don't need them anymore. And that, my friend, is what stings the most. They'll try to fight back against that fear. They might reach out. They'll send that text they never thought they'd send. They'll apologize, maybe even beg you to come back. Maybe they'll write a long, heartfelt message, telling you how much they regret taking you for granted and how they realize now what they had with you. But the truth is, by the time they feel this overwhelming fear, you've already moved forward with your life. You don't need them anymore. It's too late for their apologies, too late for their desperate attempts to win you back. Let them feel the fear. Let them feel the consequences of their actions, because you've already learned your worth. They need to understand that you're not an option, not someone to be taken for granted. You deserve someone who will appreciate you from the start, not someone who only realizes your value once you're gone. This fear will drive them to do things they swore they'd never do. But no matter what they do, don't give them a second chance just because they're afraid. This is the moment you stand firm. Don't let their fear manipulate you. Let them sit with their regret. Let them experience the consequences of losing someone as valuable as you. They had their chance, and now it's your turn to walk away with your dignity, your strength, and your independence intact. So if you've made it this far, if you've been listening to these emotional stages and reflecting on how you've been treated, remember this: you are not an option, you are a priority. When you walk away and let them experience all of this, it's not to punish them, it's to teach them a lesson they'll never forget. And the lesson is this: you deserve respect, you deserve love, and you deserve someone who will never take you for granted. And when they come crawling back, remember that their fear is not your problem. You've already moved on, and your worth is far greater than any apology they can give. You are worth more than they ever realized. Number 11, the realization of emotional independence. As we've discussed the powerful emotional journey that happens when you decide to walk away, we now come to the final and most transformative step, the realization of your own emotional independence. By this point, you've already taken control, and you're no longer the person you once were. This is where everything comes full circle, where the transformation you've gone through truly sinks in. And for that, congratulations, because you're ahead of 99% of people out there. You've proven that you're a true Stoic, someone who seeks not just wisdom, but deep understanding. Now, as we reach the climax of this journey, here's the bonus you've earned for sticking with me this far: emotional independence. When you disappear, when you walk away from someone who has taken you for granted, you're not just distancing yourself from them. You're walking towards your own freedom. You're walking towards emotional clarity, towards inner peace, and towards the realization that you are enough without needing anyone else to validate your worth. In many relationships, we often find ourselves so wrapped up in making the other person happy, in trying to improve our worth in their eyes, that we forget about our own needs. We forget that we have the power to choose our own path. We forget that we can walk away when we're no longer getting what we deserve. And let me tell you, that realization, when it hits, is life-changing. Once you've taken that step, once you've reclaimed your space, something powerful happens. You start to see things clearly. The fog lifts, and you no longer feel the need for their approval. You don't care anymore what they think, how they feel, or what they want from you. You've realized that your happiness isn't tied to them. You have the power to create your own happiness. And this, right here, is the most powerful thing you can experience: emotional independence. It's the kind of realization that changes everything. But here's the kicker: they feel it too. They sense that you're no longer the same person they once knew. They sense your strength, your growth. They feel that you've outgrown them, that you don't need them to feel complete. The balance has shifted. The tables have turned for good. They're still stuck in their old patterns, playing the same games. But you've broken free. You've evolved. You've stepped into a new version of yourself. You've broken out of the cycle of validation and have come into your own. Their opinion? It doesn't matter anymore. You own your emotional independence now, and that is your biggest win. So, what's the lesson here? Stop giving people the chance to take you for granted. Stop being the person who's always there, no matter how badly they treat you. Because the moment you walk away, the moment you disappear, everything changes. You hold the power now, and they'll feel it. They'll regret it. They'll realize they've lost something irreplaceable. If you're ready to reclaim your power, to stop being an option and start being a priority, drop a comment below with the words, "I'm done being an option." This is your moment. You're about to step into the most powerful version of yourself. And if this video resonated with you, if you felt a shift in your mindset, consider joining the channel memberships. It helps us keep creating more quality content like this and ensures it reaches as many people as possible. If membership isn't your thing, no worries. Just hit that subscribe button for Stoic Fantastic. Both options help the channel grow, and I truly appreciate every bit of support. Remember, you're in control now. See you in the next video.